Soothing story time. The One-Legged Bird. Abim was at home, looking happily at the special trick cards. They were Abim's prized possession. Abim had saved for a long time to buy them from the trader. Abim heard a faint noise outside but ignored it. Then a louder noise. Abim's head popped out of the door to see what it could be. It was a one-legged bird. The bird hopped along the branches, looking this way and that, looking for lunch. Abim saw an opportunity for a little mischief. Abim kept a big stick in the house for poking people with. Abim took the stick and sneaked along after the bird. Creeping closer, Abim poked it, then hid. The bird was confused. Abim waited, then poked it again. The bird hopped away, as it didn't like being prodded by an unknown thing. Abim snuck along after it. Poke, poke. Then the bird fell off the tree. It was prodded so hard. Abim laughed for a while, and then, bored, went back to look at the prized trick cards. The bird followed Abim. It was angry. It hadn't done anything to deserve such treatment. The bird hopped to the door, had a good look around the little house, then hopped up onto the table and took the cards, putting them under its wing. Then it hopped away. "Come back," Abim said. "Come back here, bird. Give me those back. They are mine." The bird hopped along the branches, enjoying itself, making happy little boop noises as it went. Boop, boop, boop. Abim gave chase through the trees. Boop, boop. Abim had trouble keeping up. The bird could fit in small gaps in the trees and in bushes. Abim couldn't. Abim got stuck in a bramble, caught on a tree, stepped on a thorn. The bird booped along. Boop, boop, boop. The bird moved towards the clearing. The sound of Abim's angry shout of "Come back here, bird," floated to the meeting place and was heard by those there. They stood up and looked about to see what Abim could be shouting at. They could see Abim in the distance, but not what Abim was chasing. They couldn't work it out. Then they decided it must be a trick to make them run into the brambles and get stuck on the thorns. So they stayed where they were and watched as Abim crashed about. Then they heard the boom, boom, boom song coming from the bird and saw it hop out into the clearing. Boop, 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 boop. "Hello there," Zoom said. The bird looked at Zoom. "Come back here, you stupid bird," Abim called. The bird happily hopped along the branches, still carrying the cards under its wing. "What are you doing?" Zoom called to Abim. "What is Abim doing in the brambles?" Ket said. "Sometimes I wonder." "It's my cards," Abim called. "My special cards. They cost me so much from the trader." The bird hopped about happily, waved the cards around, and hopped off. Zoom said, "Wait, bird. Please give the cards." "Oh, it's gone." Then they all began to follow the bird through the forest. it happily booped along and boomed, enjoyed itself. Abim was extremely angry now, caught on brambles, out of breath. "Give me my cards back, it stole my cards." They all chased after the bird. It hopped along the branches near the path to Zenim's house. Boop boop, boop boop boop. Zenim heard the cries and peered out of the gap in the door, worried why people might be shouting. Then Zenim popped out to see when Zoom's voice floated up. "Please give them back. They mean a lot to Abim." "Did you do something to it?" Beam said. Abim said, "No, I didn't do anything at all." "Bet you did," Beam said. Zenim crept out of the house to see properly. Everyone was chasing through the forest after something, so Zenim decided to chase too. It seemed like a good idea. Why not? Zenim was feeling rather lonely, and it looked fun as long as a good distance could be kept from Abim. So now there were 5 of them chasing the bird, and it hopped and booped and boomed and enjoyed itself as it ran along the trees towards Rai's house. Rai watched as the bird hopped past, along the branches, not at all bothered. Rai watched as the group tried to catch up to the bird. Rai thought for a bit and then ran after the group, no clue about what was going on at all. The bird hopped along, tree to tree. The group followed in various states of enjoyment. Abim was still very angry. Beam was having a really good time. The bird made its way closer and closer to the orchard. The bird finally arrived at the orchard and hopped about the fruit trees, tasting a berry here and there, not attempting the really big fruit. It would never fit in its little beak. Then the bird smelled the breeze coming from the lake and hopped off in that direction. The group arrived, stumbled, got stuck. Rai still had no idea what was going on. Beam was still having a great time, despite the brambles, and ending up in a nettle patch for a while. The bird hopped along, making boop noises out in front of the chase, the fastest of them all. The cards still snug under its wing. Boop boom, boop, boop boop boop. Then the bird saw the lake. It hopped even faster until it stood at the edge of the lake. The group finally caught up in crashes and stumbles. Zenim had ended up with a fruit bush on the head, and Rai was trailing a bramble. Beam was chewing on one of the fruits from the orchard, as Beam had not got around to breakfast, and the fruit would do. Zoom tried to breathe normally. "Now we are all here. Give me back my cards, you horrible little bird, or I will make you into a hat." "Abim doesn't mean it," Zoom said. "All we want are the cards back." Rai whispered to Zenim, "Why are we here?" "We'd all like to know the answer to that question," Zenim said, much to Rai's confusion. The bird booped and hopped along. "Evil little creature," Abim shouted. Zoom said, "It's all right. I'm sure you've done nothing bad." The bird reached under its wing and took out the cards. It held the cards in its beak and looked at Abim. "Ha!" Abim said. The bird turned and flew off over the lake, taking the cards with it. Abim shouted, "No, no, you come back here, or I'll make you into a cushion and sell you to the trader." The bird carried on flying. Zoom said, "I'd lay off the threads if I were you. if you ever want it to come back. The bird came back a few weeks later, but not with the cards. Abim never got the cards back. Abim did have a tantrum on the shore of the lake. The others, tired of his angry cries and secretly suspecting it was Abim's fault in the first place, decided to go back to the meeting place via the orchard and have fruit for lunch. Beam began to copy the birds' boop noises as they went. The sound floating in through the trees made Abim try to chew on his own foot, which was not a good idea and shows just how bad things can get if you let your anger take over your mind. The end.